Well, hello there. I just want to make a quick video. I won't keep you for long. I guess on the topic of not just chess, but the world's greatest chess player, and the topic of his death, which is old news, I guess. This was 2008. However, yeah, the topic of Bobby Fischer. He was arguably the world's greatest chess player, and I would also wager an MKUltra victim. But when he died of kidney failure in 2008, at the age of 64, I find it strange that that's the same number of squares that's on a chessboard. Yeah, that's not weird or anything. And so I made this post about it. It got noticed a bit, but I'm so shadow banned, I thought whatever. Only, yeah, like I says, the fact that he died at the same age as the number of squares on a chessboard, that's strange, you know? I mean, could it have been some kind of MKUltra Illuminati sacrifice? You know, these things do happen, like Whitney Houston and her daughter dying in the same tub exactly a year apart. And then Cody chimes in saying it could also be a soul-to-soul at the crossroads kind of thing. Yeah, not unlike Bob Dylan. But the numerology thing is creepy, I thought. Rob also chimes in, that's interesting. Guido, he mentions a movie called Pawn Sacrifice with Tobey Maguire, but I'll get to that in a second. Cody also says, he continues on, I mean, it sounds like something from an old folktale about a deal with the devil and the death of the person. It's the grotesque, the irony of circumstance, or like the farmer that wanted more land and the devil tells him he'll give him all the land he can cover by walking before the sun sets, otherwise he forfeits his life. That bitter Faustian deal. Well, the farmer gets a little too far out of the field before he realizes the sun is setting a little too fast for him, and he sees the devil afar off and starts running back to get back to him in time to close the deal, but then he dies of a heart attack right at the devil's feet. I've never really heard that fable before, but same difference, yeah. I mean, the Faustian deal, it never ends well. Also, I've heard about that whole deal, rock stars making a deal with the devil, that whole thing happening quite a bit. Even Bob Dylan on 60 Minutes, they had to cut away footage of him actually saying a deal with the devil. They edited it down to Bob Dylan saying, the chief commander. And that's all they left, you know. And I must have had to re-edit that comment. Sometimes they get all grabbled. Grabble. But yeah, even the Russian champion, Boris, both him and Bobby, I would bet my bollocks to a barn dance they were MKUltra victims like me. Because these families and all this ritualistic stuff with the numbers, that's dark occultic shit. And then when I was replying to Rob, I was like, yeah, the same thing with Bob Dylan and all that. But apparently people, in the end, he was labeled as quite insane because he started talking about conspiracy theory stuff like Zionist protocols, that the northern renegade tribes, arguably considerably racist comments about Jewish people or labeling all Jews, or he started attacking the Jewish people. But yeah, apparently history labels, he went quite insane with the whole topic of conspiracy theories. CIA spying, saying everyone was spying on him, the Illuminati and whatnot, which was just a group formed by Adam Weishaupt in 1776, regardless of all the buzz around the term Illuminati. And before that, even that it was popularized today, this guy was talking about it, this Bobby Fischer guy. Unfortunately, he fell for the same trap that so many other people do, blaming it all on all things. Yeah. And, you know, the truth of the matter is it's not any one people group's fault. It's the grabblers, the Satanists that pretend to be Jews. The truth of the matter is it comes down to the northern renegade tribes. And not only that, but arguably how most 33rds like my grandpa are Danites. And those are northern renegade tribes. They're, they're fakers. They're fakers, baby. But anyway, it's the Danites who are really to blame. And so this Bobby Fischer guy apparently went quite insane over the Jewish question, as they say. And now, I don't really care about all that. What it seems like to me is an MKUltra breakdown. He seemed to spiral the same way my Aunt Gina did and so many others. My dad's sister went quite mad, tried to kill her husband Ashok with a kitchen knife, and, you know, on it goes. These people a lot of times end up in bug houses or they get lobotomies like JFK's sister did. Yeah, JFK's dad lobotomized his own daughter. But anyway, onwards and upwards. Guido mentioned this movie Pawn Sacrifice, which I watched. It was pretty decent. Tobey Maguire did a decent job. He seems to have been shelved or benched, to use the sports analogy, after that, because it talks about him being in some cult of God thing, this fake Christian thing, but on these radio tapes he's listening to that are obviously like Nazi hate Jews kind of nonsense, but but that also begs the question of, are Zionists even real Jews, But the point of the matter is it got me on the topic of watching a bunch of other stuff, like this Bobby Fischer Against the World. Like, this guy was the greatest chess player that ever lived. So that alone warrants investigation, his decline. And if you know the signs or you study MKUltra, clearly, in my opinion, that it's the only answer as to his deterioration in such fashion. Especially with the topic of conspiracy theories and all this. So anyway, he found me a link to this movie, and he mentions that 57 minutes in, the Cult of God radio broadcast that Tobey Maguire's character, that Bobby Fischer is listening to, or was listening to at the time, was talking about the godless Soviet Union, and then it says something, something, something. And when I listened to it, what I heard was, they're not even real Jews. The godless Soviet Union and the Zionists controlling Israel are not real Jews. And it's like, it's not even that. It's just the difference between the northern renegade tribes and the southern tribes. The only quote-unquote Jews are Judeans. So if you're a Levite or a Danite, you're not a Judean. You're still a Hebrew, but it's the difference between like saying all New Yorkers are Americans, but not all Americans are New Yorkers. But anyway, the point being is that Tobey Maguire seemed to have tanked his career talking about this. And then I go on to say, yeah, I'm not too informed on this cult or whatever that Bobby Fischer was a part of, but Tobey Maguire, he looks directly at the camera when you hear the radio say it. And that was his last movie, whatever. But I don't know if that was on purpose or whatever, but another thing is that this Bobby Fischer guy seemed to have hyperacutive, hypersensitivity hearing. Like the smallest things. This should say EMFs here even, and whatnot, would just frag his concentration. But yeah, I can sort of relate to that as well. I might make a video about this. I am right now. Hilarious. But yeah, anyway, thanks dude for the movie clips, because I enjoyed watching that. It was interesting, quite a rabbit hole. But I mean, yeah, this Bobby Fischer guy, he had an interesting life. His mental acuity and spatial reasoning was off the charts. Like, I got like 150 IQ, but this guy would have had like a 200 plus IQ. And then Guido goes on to talk about playing chess and how, alcohol can change that or whatever. But yeah, as far as the movie itself, I also noticed Tobey Maguire produced it. That's interesting. And then Guido says again, yeah, he got benched by Hollyweird. Could be. And Caesar chimes in, thanks for sharing. My opinion, he is the best player of all time. A real hero that alone defeated the best players of Russia. But then he started to be exposed to the Zionist agenda. But yeah, that's the renegade houses of Israel. And then, yeah, the topic of MKUltra and all that again. But as far as the idea of genius IQ to be able to play chess like that, you have to literally be able to mind map the whole game in your head. And not only that, but you need eidetic or near eidetic, what people call photographic memory. It's only the most brilliant minds get to this level. But yeah, this movie is worth a look as well. I thought très bien, it was worth the look, and I guess I'm at the end here. So yeah, that's all I got to say about that. But do your own research on this MKUltra topic. But I do find that a lot of amazing people, musicians, celebrities, sports stars, chess stars, down through history, like also a lot of musicians, Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, or even like people like me from 33rd level military families, where these public figures have extraordinary emotional breakdowns, meltdowns, what could be MKUltra breakdowns very publicly, and sometimes result in sacrifice. But yeah, that's what made me think of it, is because, his age and the number of squares on a chessboard. However, think of it what you want. Think what you want. I don't really care at the end of the day. But I just thought it was interesting and worth making a video about. Bobby Fischer. Look into him or don't. He had one hell of an interesting life, though. So, yeah, rest in peace to all the MK Ultra victims out there. And I'll just say, peace out, baby.